Welcome to Becoming Limitless. This is the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to optimize their life for freedom. I'm going to teach you how to upgrade your health, money, and mindset so you can have more energy, time freedom, and financial independence. I'm your host, Tanessa Shears. Let's jump in. Welcome back to the Becoming Limitless podcast. How's your week going? I hope it has been really good so far. So we are in an Airbnb right now, but I've got a funny story that I have to share with you about this Airbnb. And if you don't know the backstory, my family are nomads. We actually don't have a home base, and we are traveling the world with our two little girls. And right now we are in Vancouver, up in Canada, and we're in this Airbnb. And when I booked the Airbnb, I was like, hey, I noticed you have a washing machine, but do you have a dryer as well? And they were like, oh yes, it's actually a 2-in-1 machine. I didn't think anything of it. Come to do our first load of laundry at this new Airbnb, I put the wash in, and then I put the dryer in, and I go to hit the dryer button, and it's like 8 hours and 49 minutes. I'm like, are you kidding? This can't be right. 8 hours and 49 minutes for a dryer? And so I'm like, that must be wrong. I hit start. So I kid you not, I go back about 2 hours later, and it's, 6 o'clock at night now, thinking, I'll get a load of PJs in before bed. So we have fresh PJs. And no, there was still over 6 hours to go on this dryer. And I'm like, this can't be right. And so here I am on YouTube, like looking up the make and model of this washer dryer combo, and I finally find a video that's like how to run a dry cycle, and the guy in the video is like, yep, it's 8 hours and 49 minutes for the dry cycle, but you can put it on turbo, and turbo goes, honestly, I don't know where it gets its time, but it's anywhere between like 6 and 7 hours. And the YouTube comments, people were outraged, and I was like, okay, at least I'm not crazy. I thought I was doing something wrong, but no. If you want to do one load of wash and one dryer on this machine, it takes you about 10 hours, which is ridiculous because if you have kids, how does that work? I mean, like, there are days where I'm just like, okay, it's laundry day, and I do 4 loads of laundry in a day. So needless to say, this machine has been the bane of my existence, and we have been caught a couple times where I really needed to do a load of laundry, like the 2-year-old had a blowout or something like that, and I needed to, but yet there's a load in from this morning, and if I put it in now, it won't be done by, oh my gosh. Don't buy a 2-in-1 washer dryer. I don't even know who's making this, who thought that was a good idea. But anyways, that's a side story. Today, I really want to talk to you about something that has got me really looking forward to winter. And this episode specifically is about really finding the joy and looking forward to the winter season, like even if you really hate it. Because I always look at winter as like, winter, I hate being cold. I'm up in Vancouver, which basically means it's going to be dark gray, cloudy, and wet for like 8 months. Like I don't look forward to it. I just want it to get through. And my birthday is January 31st. And it's not the most loving term, but I've always referred to my birthday as like the armpit of the year. I mean, it's like this thing, I hate it. It's the low point of the year. But after that, I can start looking forward to spring. Spring is coming. I mean, we do get snow in February, but at least it's warming up a little bit. And I find everything before that's kind of like a downward slide into winter. And I never really liked it. But I had a guest on my podcast 2 episodes ago, so it would be episode 139, and it was called Thriving Through Winter, How Seasonal Changes Impact Your Energy and Routine with Kate Soloviova. And it was all about the different, like how our body changes as winter comes, meaning like as the days get shorter, it's darker out, it's cooler out, there's not as much natural light and sunshine, and our bodies want to store a little more weight, we crave more carbs, like how we can switch up our energy and our fitness and our nutrition to go with the seasons instead of always feeling like we're fighting it, right? Or maybe you give up outdoor activity altogether in the winter. So there's a ton of ideas in that podcast. And so anyways, we were talking in my group program, Becoming Limitless, all about this concept of winter. And one of my group members was like, you know what? I just don't like winter. Like I don't look forward to it. It's not very fun. And so we had a conversation on one of our group calls that led to this podcast. And I just really want to help give you some ideas. Some of them we were brought up on this group call, but some of them are my own, how we can find joy in the cold and the winter season, right? And that's what my goal is to be able to help you with today. So let's just talk about what happens in the winter. And I did talk a lot about this with Kate in episode 139, but like the big thing that happens is the days get shorter. And what that means is it's darker later in the morning and darker later or earlier at night. So we're in the dark a lot more, right? And that lack of sunlight leads to lower energy, which makes us feel unproductive. We don't gonna get as much done and we're more tired. So this is the crazy thing is like Aura Ring, guys, I love an Aura Ring. They looked at the amount of sleep the average person gets in the summer versus winter, and there is actually a difference in the amount of sleep. We get more sleep in the winter because when we have less light available to us, more of that hormone called melatonin that helps and aids in sleep is produced, right? And so naturally we feel tired more. We're probably going to go to bed a bit earlier, and this helps us sleep more, but also we feel just more tired during the day because we don't have as much sun. And depending where you are, the angle of the sun in the sky changes, right? Where it's like I'm in the northern hemisphere, I'm up in Canada. During the summer, during the day, the sun goes directly overhead, right? Our brain is like, ooh, high sun, it's middle of the day, stay wide awake. But when the sun in the winter doesn't get very high over the horizon, it can really cause our brain to just slow down, feel a little more tired, and have a little less energy, right? And then on top of that, going into the winter, a lot of us are balancing like holiday activities. Maybe there's Christmas parties, maybe you're traveling to see family, maybe you're hosting a big dinner and there's a lot of prep involved, or you have a holiday party at your own house. There's work deadlines that might come in. You're kind of wrapping up end of year client work or customers. All of that kind of stuff can really put a lot on our plate as entrepreneurs, right? And there's a lot of stress that comes with that, right? And on top of that, like a lot of us are like planning for the next business season, planning for the next year. What is that all going to look like? And that can impact us and create a ton of stress, right? And the last thing we want to do is roll into the next year feeling burnt out, right? Or feeling like we're not giving our best, meaning we're not delivering the best to our clients or our customers, or we're not putting the best work into our social media content, right? We're just feeling really tired. And it is so important to be proactive in caring for yourself during these times, because it's totally natural that you're going to feel like you're going to go through this bit of an energy slump through these colder and darker days. So the big thing that I want to touch on today, which I absolutely love, is this concept called Hygge, and it's spelt Hygge, but it's pronounced Hygge. And actually, it was funny on one of the group calls that I did. I was like, oh yeah, it's like Hygge. And one of my clients was like, no, it's Hygge. And so we're going to say it the right way. It's Hygge. And the funny thing is I actually, there's a book that I borrowed from the library years ago. I think it's called The Little Book of Hygge or something like that. And it is such a good book. If you are down on winter, or you like the cozy vibes, like you are going to love this, because what it is, Hygge is a Danish concept. And it prioritizes comfort and coziness. And it's all about embracing being deeply connected to the moment that we are in, like really feeling present and cozy and warm. And it's a lot more about the experience of winter, instead of getting in our brains about how tired we are and it's dark and it's cold and it's rainy and my socks are wet, right? All of that. We can't go outside as often, or like we have to get bundled up in all of these layers, right? Because I mean, if you're a parent at all, you've probably been in this situation where you finally get everyone dressed in their boots, in their jackets, if there's snow pants, get ready to go out the door, and the baby has a poop in the diaper or somebody has to go pee. Like, it is just such a production to get out the door. And so in this episode here, I want to talk a little bit about Hygge and why it's perfect for winter, and how you can use it to help you slow down and find joy in the little things, like those simple pleasures, and create warmth despite being in the cold. And this is important for us as entrepreneurs, because if you can develop this Hygge mindset, it'll help you reduce your stress, and it'll also increase like how you feel. You'll feel better, emotional well-being. Like you're going to feel more positive. You're going to have stuff to look forward to. So my challenge to you through this episode is to grab a couple ideas that you like, forget the rest, and focus on being able to build that sense of well-being and things that you are genuinely looking forward to in the winter, right? Because having an environment that makes you feel good is important, and social routines, right? And to be able to allow you to find a cozy space where you can recharge and really come to work with optimal mental focus, right? And the other thing I really want you to consider is if this idea of hygge and feeling cozy and warm and all of that, if that's not striking with you, how about this? What if doing this could help your productivity long term? What if it could help you feel more creative? What if it's an avenue you haven't explored yet, right? Because I love this idea of romanticizing your life. And if you haven't heard of that yet, just honestly go on YouTube. But it's this idea of kind of picturing your life like a fiction novel that you want to read, right? It's romanticizing it. It's being present. It's paying attention to the little things. It's making everything more of like a magical experience. And hygge is a really cool way to apply that to winter. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of ideas of winter activities that you could look forward to, because this is honestly is how I'm looking forward to this winter. I have created a list of things that I want to do this holiday season. Now, you don't have to apply these just to the holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, you don't have to do the Christmas ones, but I do celebrate Christmas with my family. And so I'm going to be giving you an idea of the things that I'm going to be looking forward to over the next 2 months that are going to keep me in a positive mindset and spirit for the entire winter season, okay? So here are the things that we came up with. So the first one on my list is lights at Lafarge Lake. Now, Lafarge Lake is a lake we have in our community, and they decorate, it's a 1 kilometer loop as you walk around this lake that's in the middle of the city, and the entire walk is lit up with Christmas lights. And they have like Christmas lights in the shapes of butterflies and flamingos and bears. And there's like little houses with elves in them. And there are just tunnels of lights that you can walk through. The gardens are illuminated with lights. Like, it is just the most magical thing, and it is completely free. And it's something that my family does, I would say almost every year as we go there, and it is cold. So sometimes we do grab a hot drink to hold in our hands, but we'll walk around this lake and just appreciate the Christmas lights. And not only that, the kids love it. The community comes out. Like, it's a really cool event. Now, I'm not sure if your city has something like this, but so many different cities have light displays or drive-through light events, or you can just Google is a great friend for this, but like, are there any light displays that you can get outside on a clear night, go for a walk, or maybe it's snowing? Like, it's my favorite when it snows. It doesn't happen very often, but when the snow goes over the ground and it's over top of the Christmas lights and the snow is like shining pinks and reds and greens and blues and yellow, like, it is such a cool experience. I absolutely love it. So maybe looking for a light display would be something cool to add to your winter holiday hygge list. Okay, the second one is we're gonna go ice skating. Now, this doesn't have to be fancy at an outdoor rink, but we actually went to an indoor rink last year, and it was so fun. It was a nice wintry thing. We got together with the family. We all wore like these Christmas toques with like blinking lights on them. We made an event for it, and my daughter at the time, she was 3. She absolutely loved it. And the cool thing is, if you've got little kids, you can actually take the strollers right onto the ice and just push the stroller around, which was something that we did. And then also we had family members come that they're not skating fans, but they wanted to participate. So they had these like ice claws that they clipped onto the bottom of their running shoes. And so they were kind of like little spurs, or like kind of like you get for soccer cleats. And you could walk around with these on the ice as well. So I actually love skating. And so this was something that definitely went on our winter to-do list. And I will say, I did make this list with my kids. And I asked them, like, what do you want to put on the list? And skating was something that my daughter voted to put on the list. So you can make this a family activity. You can do it with your partner. You can do it with your friends. It just gives you a bunch of stuff to look forward to with other people. The third thing on my winter list is going to be to get a peppermint hot chocolate. Now, I know it's probably got chemicals and sugar and all the things in there that I don't normally consume. However, there is something about a peppermint hot chocolate which just makes the whole holiday season feel like it's been kicked off. So maybe I'll grab one and go for a walk with my husband, or we'll grab one with the kids when we go to the light festival. There's so many different ways. Like, there are drinks. It's like how in fall everyone does the pumpkin spice thing. Like, I really feel like the peppermint hot chocolates are where it's at for Christmas or the holiday season. The fourth thing on the list is to put up our Christmas tree with holiday music. Now, we usually wait until about December 1st to put ours up, but it's specific that we want to do it with holiday music playing. And it's a whole vibe, and we want the whole family to be there together and putting decorations on the tree. And it's fun because this will be the first year that my youngest, Tenley, can actually put decorations on the tree, because I think last year she spent the entire time taking decorations off the tree. Now, one thing, if you have pets or kids, if you haven't discovered plastic Christmas bulbs, do that. They bounce. It's amazing. Because before we had kids, we had all glass. I think my cat, Paisley, she took care of all the glass ones. They were all broken before I had kids, so I had to get plastic ones. So it worked really well, and they've actually lasted quite a long time. But this whole vibe around having a cozy day with family, maybe everyone could wear red or something like that. And we also do decorate other family members' Christmas trees. Like my parents for the last year didn't actually do a traditional Christmas tree. What they did was they put up like a tent, a very tall tent, like a 12-foot tent, and they decorated the whole outside of this tent, these four sticks that lent together. They decorated it with Christmas boughs and Christmas lights, and my girls love to sit inside it, and it's just such a magical Christmas experience. So decorating other trees in the family, like my girls will go to my in-laws' house and decorate their tree as well, and so it's just kind of something that gets the family together. Another thing is reading a holiday novel. Now, I have missed the boat on this for every year except for last year. And I finally got it together and got a book in time to read for the holiday year. And I don't know what it is, but reading a fiction book about the holidays during the holidays is I love it. So the book I read last year, I read a couple of them, but the one that stood out the most was called In a Holidays. Holidays with D-A-Z-E, like a days with your head, holidays, by Christina Lauren. And it was like Christmas meets romance meets time loop. And I love anything to do with time loops, multiverse, all of that kind of stuff. Like, I'm a huge Marvel fan, and not to say this book had anything to do with that, but I loved that whole aspect of it. So what I actually did this year was I went and I just Googled Christmas books that read like a Hallmark movie, or 12 of the best Christmas contemporary romance books. And I went and downloaded a couple of them that I have ready to go for this year, and I'm going to start reading them probably close to the end of November. I'll have 2 or 3 of them read by Christmas. There's just something so cozy about pulling on a big pair of woolly socks, sitting by a fireplace or under a cozy blanket and reading a holiday book. And, if the holidays have passed, a winter book, something that is set in on the ski slopes, or somewhere that is magical for the holidays, or a winter book. Like, there are so many books. You just go on Google, or like one of my favorite websites is actually called Goodreads. And I find so many of the books I love to read there. You can find literally lists of holiday books, lists of winter books, lists of anything books, and it'll give you a consolidated list that people have voted on about their favorite books that should go on this list. So goodreads.com is one of my favorite things for that. The next thing on my list is to do a Christmas puzzle. I love jigsaw puzzles. It's like one of my absolute favorite things to do. And so I actually just went on Facebook Marketplace a couple of days ago and was browsing like Christmas puzzle, winter puzzle, holiday puzzle. And I found this really, really cool puzzle. It's Santa Claus sitting around a Christmas tree, checking his list, and it's a big 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. I am so excited to start this in December. I also love winter puzzles. Like, I've done a puzzle last year, and it was like of a red pickup truck with a Christmas tree in the back and some little puppies around the wheels of the truck. Like, I love doing holiday themed puzzles. And this is definitely something. I picked it up the other day. It's in storage and it's ready to go come the holiday season, just to help keep you in the festive mood. Like, I love the idea of doing this puzzle with a hot cup of tea nearby. Like, this just sounds like a great afternoon to me. The next one on my list is to watch a Hallmark Christmas movie. I literally this morning, my mom sent me the promotional flyer from the Hallmark channel, and it's October as I'm recording this, and they've actually already gone and started releasing Hallmark movies. Now, I don't have the Hallmark channel, so I'm going to have to go to my mom's house. We're going to have to make like a family event of it, but I want to watch at least one Christmas movie or Hallmark movie. It's interesting. I asked on my Instagram stories the other day, like, what's everyone's favorite holiday movie that they love. And Home Alone actually came in as one of the top movies. Like there was a bunch of votes for Home Alone. My favorite holiday Christmas movie is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I think I probably watch that every year. It is so good. It is such a wholesome family movie. It's like nostalgic to my childhood. And fun fact, I was actually an extra, like as an actress, an extra in the Santa Claus too. So I mean, I really do love the movie. The other favorite of mine is actually The Polar Express. And I think it's Tim Allen not Tim Allen, what's his name? Tom Hanks that voices that character. That's another movie I absolutely love. But finding just a cheesy Hallmark movie as well, where that, someone's business is going under, someone returns to a small town, they fall in love. It's so predictable. Like, I want to watch one of those this year. So that's on my list as well. Another one, my daughter was like, I want to go see Santa at the mall. And so that's definitely something we'll be putting on the list this year. We're going to probably go and see Santa. The first couple of years we tried, she was a little scared to do it, but this year hopefully will be a year where she's not feeling as scared this year, and we'll take both kids to go see. Next one on the list, decorate cookies. So these can be like shortbread cookies, gingerbread cookies, sugar cookies, whatever we want. But we like to decorate cookies. My sister-in-law actually ordered this cookie decorating kit. When was it? It was 2 years ago, and brought it to the kids, and it comes with icing and sprinkles and all of this and the cookies and everything like that. So we just got to do the joy of decorating and not the baking the cookies. And I actually really like that. But if you love to bake cookies, this might be something that's really fun for you as you get together with friends or family or loved ones or whatever like that. Or maybe you just love to do a solo bake and you just enjoy making some cookies and decorating for the holidays, because why not, right? It's something to look forward to in the winter. The next thing I have on my list is I really want to make soup from scratch. I'm talking about, I want to go over to the Meridian Meats, which is like our local Whole Foods butcher, and I want to get the chicken bones, and I want to make our own homemade bone broth. I want to do it with organic vegetables, and I want to make this really hearty, warm soup. And I have my head, I want to picture doing it with my kids. I want to do it with them, and I want to show them about healthy food and how to make healthy bone stock and all of that kind of stuff, and then get to enjoy on those cold days or the days where it's snowing or raining really hard. We get that warm soup to warm us up. Plus, it gets in a ton of extra veggies, which is a lot of fun. I have on my list, we got 4 more that are on my list. There, you can go for a neighborhood walk and look at Christmas lights. My daughter loves to look at all the Christmas lights, and it's interesting. It's so magical with kids. They notice the little things that you don't like. They'll be like, look at that little penguin over there that's lit up. And, it's one of the smallest features of the Christmas light display. But it's something that like pops to them. And I love being able to see those holiday lights through their eyes. But yeah, I really enjoy doing that. I know that there's in some cities you can actually Google where the best Christmas light displays are. So you can, just hop in the car and go for a drive and drive around with your family and go look at all the different holiday lights. Like that's something that we definitely love to do as well. I thought this idea was really cute. It's called Christmas camping. Now, again, doesn't have to be a Christmas tree. You can just string up some fairy lights and make it magical. But this idea of I would love to let the kids camp with their, sleeping bags and their pillows underneath the Christmas tree or right around, so that it feels really magical and they can fall asleep with the tree. I don't know how this is going to go. They're 4 in there too, but given that we've been changing homes every 3 to 4 weeks for the last couple of months, they might be really well adapted to sleeping somewhere new. But this whole idea of Christmas camping out with the family in front of the tree, even if we all end up sleeping in our own beds, it would be really kind of a fun way to spend an evening together. The next one up is to do holiday crafts. Now, there's a website called Temu, T-E-M-U, and it's like, how do I describe it? It's like Amazon, but like half to a quarter of the price. And I have saved and bookmarked a whole bunch of little holiday crafts. There's a really cute one on there right now where they string together 3 beads to make a snowman, and there's a little hat. And they could be good to do as family gifts or hang on the Christmas tree, but like little holiday crafts, like even something as simple as cutting up paper snowflakes for decorations, right? Just doing something like that. It's something that's off screens. It's something that's together as a family. And it's also nice to have activities that aren't all around food and drink as well. That's important to us, is to be active and to be involved and stuff like that. So this might be a very fun idea. The very last one I have on here is to read Christmas stories. Now, this is another one that was volunteered by my oldest daughter. We have this book in our house, and it has all of these Christmas stories in it, and the pages on the outsides are spray painted gold. It is just the most magical book, and it's actually a book from my childhood. And so, right up to the holidays, we like to read through 1 to 2 of these stories every single night. And it's just something we look forward to. It's becoming tradition. And I think that's what one of the big underlying things in this takeaway of this is tradition. Is like, what are you creating as your own winter or holiday or Christmas traditions? Like, is there something that you look forward to doing every year? Is there something you look forward to trying or tasting or experiencing? And I think that's what it is it's creating this list of cozy things that you look forward to, and then putting yourself in the place of actually having the experience, feeling present for it, feeling the warmth of the fireplace or the coziness of your socks, right? Like, I think it's about putting yourself in the experience, and that's what makes Hygge such a beautiful thing to pair with winter. And there's a ton of other stuff. Like, if you're looking at this, you're like, I'm not a big Christmas person. There's a whole bunch of other ideas. What you can look at is like, could you do a coffee shop hop? Like, go to a couple coffee shops during the day. Could you do a journaling session in front of the fire? Or is there some other type of creative hobby you want to take up? Or do you love board games? Like, do you want to have a board game night with your family? Is this something because it's, it's darker out earlier? Maybe everyone's home a little earlier. You do board games together, right? Or what if you love to ski or snowshoe? Like, these are all things that you can get out on the local mountains and do if you have snow in the area. Like I said, we like ice skating, but if your family loves to snowboard or ski or anything that is involved in winter, toboggan, go sledding, any of those fun things are great ideas to get everyone together, right? Another thing you can do is if you can safely go for a winter hike, you can appreciate how beautiful the landscapes are in the winter with the bare trees. Or maybe you get up early in the morning and you go and see the frost on everything. Or if you're in an area that's snowing, can you make snow angels? Can you go and, walk down these paths and look for footprints for animals? Can you see deer or bunny or bear, right? We often see a lot of evidence of bears on any hikes we go on, because up in here in Vancouver, especially where we live, there's a lot of mountains. Therefore, there are a lot of bears. So this is kind of a really neat way to enjoy winter. And I think if you look at the overall, it's really prioritizing coziness, warmth. If you're indoors, soft lighting, maybe you light a candle. It's all about unplugged time. Do you notice that? So much of these ideas are present. They're unplugged. They're time to recharge. They're about routines and traditions, and just looking at winter this way instead of looking at it as the season where it's going to rain a lot and it's going to be cold and I don't like winter clothes and it's dark, because it's going to happen regardless of how it's going to happen. How do you want to look at it, right? Because your mind is so powerful. If you want to feel hygge, or if you want to feel cozy or warm, it starts in your brain, right? And that can be with the thoughts that you're thinking on a regular basis, or it can be with things that you put on your calendar that you look forward to that only happen during winter. Because I know, for example, the lights at Lafarge only happen during the holiday season. Those are those Christmas lights we like to walk around and go look at. So it's something I get to look forward to that doesn't happen any other time of the year, right? And you can really look at using these holiday seasons to embrace seasonal shifts for better health. Like if you want nutrition and exercise tips, go back to episode 139. There's a ton in there that will help you on that. But looking at it as a season to embrace solitude, right? And solitude doesn't mean you have to be alone, because I've got a 2 and a 4-year-old and we're not alone very often, but solitude can just mean some time where you don't have constant input coming in from YouTube videos and TV and Instagram and TikTok. Maybe you just give your brain a break from other people's brains, right? This is a necessary part of growth. And on top of that, like winter is such a good time to really have that restoration, like feel rest and recovery and sleep. Oh my gosh, what an opportunity to practice good sleep. You guys know I love it, right? And you can, get a winter evening wind down routine that's unplugged from the TV. It's always dark, so you don't have to worry about the sun waking you up at 5 a.m. Your room will be nice and cool. The melatonin is pumping because it's dark. Like there are so many things working for you. So maybe you look at the winter season as the season that you lean into amazing sleep. Like if you've got an Oura ring, maybe this is the year you start getting 90s in your sleep. Like that's something I always cultivate in the winter. And my winter sleep scores usually range between 92 and 98 because I'm sleeping a little bit more. And Oura really does love when I get more than 8 hours of sleep. It rewards me for that. And on top of getting good sleep, this also can mean that you don't have to say yes to all the holiday plans. And I know sometimes we get invited to every party, from people we've knew one time to work events to all of this kind of stuff. Just remember, you don't have to say yes to everything. You can just say yes to the things that feel like, yes, I want to see those people. I want to go. Like don't ever feel obligated to go to something that does not light you up. And there's no Christmas pun intended in there on light you up like a Christmas tree. But I always think like I want to go to the things I really want to go to, and I want to keep the calendar very empty because we love slow living, we love presence, we love spaciousness. And if our calendar is crammed with events over the holidays, we're just going to feel bogged down. I'm going to dread the season. I'm going to feel burnt out, and I'm not going to feel very good rolling into the new year. And like I said, it's a great time to move your body, whether you're outside going for walks, maybe you go skiing, or you move it indoors. Maybe this is the winter that you take up Pilates, or maybe this is the winter that you take up bar or spin classes or a different type of strength training. Like use the season to your advantage and find other things to do that really inspire you. And of course, what if you just leaned into this idea of creating a winter routine, like a whole cozy winter routine that you loved? You woke up in the morning and you have this whole cozy thing. Maybe you light a non-toxic candle. Maybe you have a favorite blanket. Maybe you're like me right now and you have a cup of tea in your hand and you're sitting on a heating pad with some warm yellow lighting instead of the harsh white lighting and the ring lights that we like to sit in front of all day if you're creating content, right? Or maybe you have dinner with your family by candlelight. Maybe you prioritize having a warm shower or a bath at the end of the night. Or maybe you have a set of Christmas pajamas or comfy clothes. Like I have on, one of those like Henley style sweaters right now. And it's just so cozy. And it makes the season more enjoyable going through it, right? Getting that cozy feeling, getting that downtime, and using those moments to recharge and reduce cortisol and start to feel a lot more present as you're going through this holiday season. So my challenge to you is to get away from surviving the winter season and lean into thriving during the winter season. And I want you to open your mind to the idea of looking at winter through the lens of Hygge and seasonal self-care. What scents do you love? Maybe you like more cinnamon scents, or you like more pine forest scents, or there's some kind of, what can help you create that warmth, cozy Hygge self-care vibe to take you through the winter so that it can feel fun, right? Like instead of dreading the cold, what if you leaned into it as a time to reflect, recharge, and find joy in the simplest things? Now, here's my call to you. I'm going to challenge you to create your own list of things you want to do this winter season or holiday season, or Hygge list that you want to go through over the next couple of months. I know on mine, like there is a top 8 that I really want to get through, and I plan on doing them and documenting them and creating memories with my family and my kids and having something that I look forward to. Now, I would love if you come over to my Instagram account at Tanessa Shears and share with me what is the number one thing that you are looking forward to this winter. And do you love Hygge? Have you heard of Hygge before? Because I know that the people that have heard of it before love it. You're going to be all about this episode. But if you haven't before, maybe be open to this idea of exploring how this season might be your favorite winter season just yet. And if you love this podcast, you found it helpful, feel free to share it on Instagram, tag me at Tanessa Shears, or leave a review. I always love hearing all of your wonderful feedback, what you're loving, what's been helpful, what have you discovered because of this podcast. And I try to keep the content related not only to health, but to growth in general. Becoming limitless isn't just always about optimization and getting to the next level of health, but it's about optimizing the experience of your life, right? So we not only talk about health on this show, which is a lot of the episodes, but I do really like to talk about mindset, and I like to talk about energy, and I like to talk about freedom and financial independence and all of these things that really do help us become limitless in our life. So again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that this winter can be a season of hygge and that you can find joy in the cold weather. Have a beautiful week. I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Hey, if you love listening to this podcast, then you have to come check out my coaching program, Becoming Limitless. Together, we'll build a sustainable system for your health that is based in science and data that fits seamlessly into your busy schedule. Join me over at tanessashears.com/becoming limitless. I'll see you there.